What is up, DJ Army Nethervvoid, also known as John, and welcome back to part 2 of Factorization Mod Spotlight. This is part of the Feed the Beast mod pack. And sorry you had to wait so long for between part 1 and 2, but I had to get Season 3 of Dungeoncraft up and running on Direwolf 20 on the server. So it took a while. Anyway, last part we talked about all the different factorization machines and how you can triplicate your ore. And also the item barrels, which are really awesome to store a lot of items, and also these the auto crafting blocks here. But this part we're going to talk about the Wrath add-on and also Mecha Armor, also known as Exo Armor in this version of the pack. But first up, Wrath. Wrath covers routers, router upgrades, Wrath lamps, and bags of holding, which is kind of a lot of stuff. It's really cool stuff. But the first thing you're going to need to make any of those items is dark iron ingots, and the way you craft those is you get one of these Wrath igniters, which you can see the recipe for here, a diamond shard, which we talked about in part 1, and a nether brick, which is pretty easy to make. And you're going to, let's just make sure this stays the daytime here. But what you're going to do with this thing is you're going to right click these blocks of iron here. Now you have to be really careful. This is going to create wrath fire, and this stuff burns everything and sets everything on fire pretty bad. So just do this out in the middle of a field or something. We're going to right click. You can see the wrath fire starting up there. It's going to catch to all the the iron blocks, and then it's going to spread with some regular fire once it's all burned up. So this takes a little while, not too much, and you can see my wrath igniter is actually almost dead now. Oh, there we go, dark iron blocks. Now the wrath fire is going to run out, and regular fire is going to come up. You have to put that out. It will never stop burning. Cool. Now let's just pull one of these bad boys up. I don't know, let's pull a few up. Go over to their project table here, and bam, look at that, 12 dark iron ingots. So that's how you make the dark iron ingots. There's lots of stuff that are cool stuff you can craft with this thing. I think my favorite is probably the router. This thing is really amazing, and I'm wondering if I'm in recipe mode. Yes, I am. So here's the recipe for it. 6 dark iron ingots, an eye of ender, an egg, which I'm not really sure why the egg's there, but maybe there's an omelet inside, can't see it, and an ender pearl. Pretty sweet little item right here. It's great for sorting. It's mainly a sorting system. We're going to screw around with this one right here. It's connected to 2 different inventories. The way this thing works is it will sort, it can pull items out of inventories that it's adjacent to or connected to. So for this router right here, it's connected to all these items all the way down. Now it's not connected to these because it has to be connected up to the face. Like if I was a block, then all of these would be connected. It doesn't use any tubes. There are no tubes in this system. It can just pull straight across over to this guy if you wanted to. It's pretty cool, and there's a couple of different things you can do to really automate, or get a lot of different cool combinations with this thing. So let's just look at what we got. We got 30 dark iron ingots here and a ton of stuff over here. Now this is just a regular router with no upgrades on it. We've told it to extract dark iron ingots from slot 0 in any inventory it's touching. So you can see here slot 0 would be this slot right here. There are no ingots there, but there are some here. So let me take that out, and now it's pulling. And again, once I pulled it out, it's going to pull whatever is in slot 0 that it first goes after. Now, it pulled everything from here, but it didn't touch these because they're not iron blocks. So let's put those back. Now I can tell it, I only want you to pull dark iron ingots. Now it's going to pull from this chest. You can see the little ender stuff going on here. It should not be pulling anything from there. It's not. It's only pulling from here. But it will pull evenly. If you put stuff over here, it'll go back and forth and pull one of each at a time. You can also do it from, you can tell it what sides to pull from. So we're telling it pull from the bottom of the chest, pull from the top, pull from the south. And that's like if you have machines and stuff, you have to pull out of a certain slot. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. In fact, let's just go talk about that right now. So this router is hooked up to 2 furnaces here. And with this one, we're telling it to insert into the top sides of these furnaces. Okay? So let's get the call out that I've already put in these furnaces. And there's an insert on this, but we're going to basically remove this insert. So I've removed it. Now it's a standard router again. So I'm going to insert coal into the top sides of these 2 furnaces. So it's inserting right now. It doesn't require any power or redstone or anything like that. It just automatically works. So as you can see, it's evenly loading this coal into both of these furnaces. Now, this is a router upgrade. This one's called toughness, I think, or thoroughness is what I thought it was called. Yeah, okay. And you can craft these upgrades. As you can see, this one's 4 dark iron ingots and some soul sand in here. So once you craft one of those bad boys, shift and right click to add the item upgrade to the router, and you're going to see it's got an extra button here in the GUI. This will allow you to access the item upgrades. Now this router only has one, but there are several item upgrades, and I wonder if you can do upgrade and probably get it. Router probably. You can see all the item upgrades here, and every router can contain as many upgrades as you want to give it. I can put every one of these upgrades in this router. Now, thoroughness always finishes serving the first machine before it moves on to the next one. And that's why I added this. Like say you want to make sure that this first furnace is filled with coal before he moves on to the second one. So you put a thoroughness in there, you add it in. Let's give it a little bit more once it starts going here. You can see it's putting it, and you can even see the little ender symbols here. It's filled up the first furnace, and now it's filling up the second one. So that's what the thoroughness upgrade does. Now there's a lot of other upgrades here. We're going to talk about each one of them. The item filter, you can filter what items you want to put in, or extract, because this does have an extract mode. So here you can filter it. You can only have one item here. But you might want to have multiple items here to filter on. So let's go over here. We'll look at this router, which I've set up with a couple different upgrades. You can see I've got an ejection upgrade, so I can tell it where to eject on the router here. You can see that has colors on each side here. I can correspond that to the ejector upgrade and say, okay, I want you to eject. You can also do bottom, top. There's nothing at the bottom or top. We're going to go with eject to this yellow side, which I think is east. I already had it set up to that. Okay. I also have the item filter. Now I can pull two different kinds of items. Let's put I don't know. Let's put some nether brick in here. Let's put some. Well, we're gonna need some of this dark iron. That's kind of what I had set up here. And let's put, I don't know, some of these iron blocks. So I can tell it, okay, pull dark iron ingots, and also I want you to pull iron blocks, but I don't want you to pull the nether brick. Okay. Oops. So I shift right clicked there, and that did not work. Definitely have to place it into the extract. Okay, so this filter is now just pulling these two items. It looks like you can do up to 9. That's kind of cool. Also, now I have the machine upgrade, machine filter, and this basically says you can tell it what exact kind of blocks to visit. Only crystal chests in this system here, furnaces, slag furnaces, and there's a bunch of different options in here. We're going to go with all machines, and here's another option you can do with the machine upgrade. You can tell it visit all, which means everything it touches, or you can tell it only visit near, which means the next inventory it hits, it will not go past that inventory. So even though we have items in here, it won't pull from them now because I have visit near on. So let's, now the way I've also hooked this up, and you can just do this to get out of that, is I've hooked this up with a redstone signal right now. If you turn the redstone signal off, if you have a redstone signal on this router, it will not pull items, okay? If you disable it, which I'm going to do with just a pulse of this, and you can see this red power I've set up here, this is a pulse former. It'll just shoot out one pulse, and this is a NOT gate, so it changes the pulse from an active redstone pulse to a negative pulse. It'll turn that redstone off for a split second, and let's go look at what we've got in here. 17 dark iron ingots, and we're telling it we want to pull blocks of iron and dark iron ingots. Let's see what it does. So you can see the redstone signal went off for a tiny second here. Now we have 18 dark iron ingots. So that can be a good way to get one item that you're looking for out of this router. See how I just got one more? If I wanted to pull one iron block and one iron ingot, I'd probably put another router up here and feed that signal up to the other router and hit it both, and it'll get one of each. Pretty sweet little way to maybe do some auto crafting. This could be an auto crafting table. You can spit some items out the back, and you got a nice little auto crafting system. So that's those upgrades. The speed boost will make your router pull faster. It's kind of a nice upgrade, and the way you make it is like so, with a cake in the middle and some sugar. The machine and item filters have a slightly more difficult recipe, and we'll talk about that in a second. The bandwidth upgrade will allow your router to pull from larger systems. There's a finite limit. I'm not sure what that is, but it says unless you have a really large system of machines, you probably don't need the bandwidth upgrade. But if you find yourself not being able to pull from something really far away, definitely get the bandwidth upgrade. We've already talked about ejector, thoroughness, and all these other types. And now let's talk about how to craft the item filter or the machine filter. They both have this logic matrix identifier. So the way you have to make this is you have to find one of these logic matrix programmers in a dungeon. That's the only place you can find them. You cannot craft these, okay? Looks like you can craft a second one by doing this. That's kind of nice, but you cannot craft these. You have to find them in a dungeon. So what you're going to do here, and let's go, okay, let's do that again. What you're going to do here is you got to create one of these logic matrices by putting stone, water bottle, and an invernium drop into the crystallizer over here. Okay, and it takes forever to crystallize this item, but let's do one of those and check it out. That goes there. Water bottle, which I don't have. Let's get one. I wonder if I can just use a water bucket. Probably, but let's just get a water bottle just in case. And we also need stone, which I have. Okay. So you place these in the crystallizer, and it starts to fire up. So once you get one of those, you can just craft that recipe real simple into a regular crafting table. It will not consume the logic matrix programmer. That is just like a catalyst. It will not be consumed. The spider eye and the logic matrix will turn into the logic matrix identifier. So it's a little bit tough to get depending on how many dungeons you've been to or things like that. So that's pretty much the item router. Pretty awesome little thing, little machine, little block. And one other thing you can do with it, which I haven't tried yet, but it seems like you could do it, is set up a bunch of routers here with all your chests, like so, and you could have a real simple sorting system. I don't know how many of you guys have watched my Dungeoncraft stuff, but I like to do a lot of sorting with my sorting machines, and I really hate to sort stuff out on my own, so this could be a really good system. It's really easy to make. Let's just do this. Let's get a couple of those item filters, and now I need to be in cheat mode here. Let's cheat in a few of those guys, and let's add one to each of these routers. Oops, gonna shift right click. Okay. So let's say this was my system with all my diamond chests, with all my stuff in it, and this was my dump chest. I just went mining or something, or I just dumped off some stuff that I was working on. So let's say we want these two items in different chests. Okay, so we'll put this item here, and we're going to put this lead ingot into this chest. So we're going to say we want to insert into top side. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's going to insert it basically into this. Now it should be, I thought, doing it right away, but apparently not. So now it's extracting from here. It's got to do the eject. That's right. We need some of these ejector upgrades. So we're going to add those as well to each of these little systems here. Not that I'm going to use these. It's just for show, but let's put that back for a little bit later. So I've got an extract. It's extracting out of here, but now I want it to eject into bottom, and that's fine. There we go. It's ejecting north. Oh, that's not right. I want it to eject west. Okay, let's pull those back out. It might be. Where'd it put those? Oh, it probably ejected them to the next guy over. Yeah, it did. Alright, so let's put those back in here. And it should... Oh, there we go. So, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome little system here. You don't have to use any power. No tubes, no redstone, nothing. All you have to do... And you can move this chest. Let's move this guy. Let's put it over here. I don't know. Let's say your chest was here. Let's just put one of these down. Alright. And we're going to put some lead ingots in there. I don't know, let's put half. And we're going to put this guy, actually let's not put those in yet because I got to configure this router. So we got that as an insert. It's going to be extract, and it's going to be eject to west is what we already saw. And now we're going to put those lead ingots in, and bam, they're getting put right into this chest just like I wanted it to. So that's pretty sweet, and 9 items is pretty decent. It might not be enough for certain things, but you can expand this like really large, make this a really large system. You can just put them up here. And that's what's really awesome. It doesn't require any tubes or anything, so it's easy to expand. Now, obviously, the problem here would be you couldn't get in. Oh, you still can get in the bottom ones. So there you go. I just expanded that system by double. Now I can sort twice as many items. Pretty nice little system. I love those routers. I'm going to probably start using them a little bit in Season 3 for sorting on some of my automated stuff, I think. The next piece of the Wrath add-on I wanted to show you was the Wrath lamp. Now, as you can see, I'm really high up in the air, and I'm going to do a test with the torch versus the Wrath lamp. Let's see if I, nope, I have it in recipe mode. Let's do it in cheat mode here. So there's a torch. Let's get the Wrath lamp. And I'm going to show you how to make one of these in a second here. Let's just look at the recipe for it. So the Wrath lamp is created with 4 dark iron ingots and 2 silver ingots, some panes, and then the igniter. The igniter is not consumed, but it will take some damage just a little bit when you create a Wrath lamp. So let's turn it to night real quick here. And we're going to see how this thing works. Okay, so it's nighttime. Let's look at a torch. Not a lot of light. You know, it's a torch. What do you expect? In fact, let's turn this down a little bit. Let me turn my brightness down. Alright, let's turn these brightness down. Okay, moody. Now you probably can't see anything. So here's a torch. Now let's do a Wrath lamp off the other side. Do I have to light it? There it goes. See all that light? Very awesome. So here's a torch. Well, the torch did nothing, basically. Let's turn that brightness up again, just in case you can't see it. Back to brightness. So that's a really awesome lamp, especially if you're working in like a factory or something. It lights up a lot of area. It's really nice. Down 30 blocks, like I said. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and let's get out of creative mode now, is the bag of holding. Now, the bag of holding, if we take it into recipe mode here, let's see, let's look up bag. It's pretty easy to craft. It's ender pearl, 3 leather, and 3 dark ingots like this. Now, what the bag of holding does is if you hit tilde while it's here in your inventory, it stores the 3 columns to the right of it inside the bag. And if you hit it again, they come right back. It's a nice way to get some extra space in your inventory. Now, what I really think it's great with is now that, you know, when you're using the pocket crafting table, you've always got all this extra junk over here where the crafting area is. But if you hit tilde, boom, now you have an open crafting area. You can use all these items, craft what you need, and hit tilde again, and there you go. The bag of holding dumps all your junk out back into your inventory. So pretty nice. Obviously, if you fill this area up, if you're mining or something, you're still going to have a bunch of junk in here to deal with because, like, let's move this over here. See, it just swaps them out. So, you know, it just depends on what you're really putting into your inventory. But I think the bag of holding is a pretty awesome little inventory item. You can also upgrade it. Let's see how we can upgrade this thing to do 4 columns. There we go. So to upgrade it, you put the bag of holding in a crafting table with another dark iron ingot, leather, and an ender pearl, and now this guy will do 4. So I can move him over to here, and he'll do all 4 of those columns to the right. So pretty nifty little item. I'm probably going to be creating one of those in Season 3 as well. It's pretty easy to make. I really just have to make the crystallization, the diamond shards, which would be a little bit of a pain, but not too bad. So anyway, that is factorization. Actually, let's talk about some Mecha Armor. The next part of this mod to talk about is the Exo or Mecha Armor, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, I'm already wearing all 4 pieces of this. So if we look at, in this it's called Exo, on the forums it's called Mecha, so I don't know, it's kind of in progress, so the names might be changing. Let's go to recipe mode here, and before we do that, we better change it back to daytime, because I think it's turning into night. Alright, so if we look at a recipe here, the recipes are the same as the normal recipes you see in vanilla, except that you use these Exo chassis instead of like iron blocks or something. The way you make those is iron ingots surrounding a gold nugget makes you 1 Exo chassis. Now, when you first craft these, they actually don't do anything. Like if I took this helmet off, which I actually have modded, I'm getting no armor benefit from these, okay? That's because these are basically, it's like a frame. Kind of like a robot frame. There's nothing on these things. If you look at it in here, in this basically Exo modder, if you have an Exo modder, you can put modules on it. But right now, there's nothing in here. Okay, and this is how many slots this item actually has. So it's got 8 modular slots. So the helmet has 5. Now they have as many modular slots as Exo chassis it takes to create them. So you can see legs has 6, which I thought it was 7, but okay. And Exo boots has 4. This should be 7, I think. That's okay. And this is 8. Yeah. So as you can see, now the way you get armor on them is you put in a vanilla piece of armor right here. So let's say for the chest, I wanted to add diamond armor to it. Oh, I gotta put it on. Thought it was on. Now it is. And you can see my armor went up drastically. Let's say we want to keep modding this thing. We want to put, let's see, where was that upgrade I had? Cobblestone drive? Yes. Now, generates cobblestone, and I don't know how to use this. I'm going to push, let's see, while numpad 1 is held. I don't really like that. While moving, let's try that. Oh, got to put it on. Where's my cobblestone? Do I have to push E or something? So apparently, the cobble generator activates when you jump. As you can see, I've got 6 cobblestone. I'm running around and I'm jumping and I'm getting more cobblestone. So you can just make cobblestone out of nothing. Now, the other one I really wanted to check out, which I have not checked out yet, is the shoulder-mounted piston. This is pretty sweet. You can push blocks with it. Let's see. While on fire? Yeah, not really. So you can just change, this is changing how it's activated. And you can see it's still definitely in the works here. While numpad 2 is held. The problem is I don't have a numpad 2. So that's not going to really work for me. Really wanted to show you how this works too. Let's see. Numpad 3, nah. While moving? Always. Okay, let's try always. Alright, let's try to push a block here. Oh wow, that was cool. What's that? So it has to have a space to move into. Let's see if I can push this tree. Nope. Yeah, I did. There we go. So I'm pushing it like as if this is a piston. Come on. It won't move anymore. Anyway, you can screw around with this. It's pretty sweet. I like that. Apparently, there it goes. It's kind of a little bit temperamental. So Mecha Armor again is still in the works, and there's going to be a lot of different upgrades apparently and modules and stuff you can get. So it's going to be kind of cool. I'm kind of can't wait to see what happens. Now, again, real quick though, the armor will run out as you take damage. The armor actually takes damage. You just replace your vanilla piece of armor and you're good. Anyway, that's going to do it for Factorization Part 2. Let me know what you think about this mod. It's pretty sweet. Some of the stuff I think is really awesome, and other parts are not. You know, they're pretty okay. Like the barrels are awesome. I love the routers. I really like the wrath lamps. Just there's different things. The bag of holding is sweet too. Anyway, let me know what you think about this mod. I'll see you guys next time.